Producer and director Hal Prince. The man's name is synonymous with big Broadway shows. Phantom of the Opera, West Side Story, Cabaret, and Evita, just to name a few. Just to name a lot, he has won 16 Tony Awards, more than anyone in the history of Broadway. For his latest theatrical project, though, we go 40 miles from Broadway to the city of Purchase, New York, where Prince is working with an innovative new organization called New Musicals. It isn't a school. It's a place where musical shows are produced with all the care and glamour of Broadway, but without some of the financial and creative constraints. Through the eyes of Hal Prince, the first of our guest correspondents on Arts and Entertainment Review, we go backstage to a musical version of Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
My entire life in the theater had been one in which I was able to experiment in the commercial theater. We were not in any way constrained in what we did, and we grew. Now that's changed, because now the cost of musicals is up to, oh golly, $8, $9, $10 million. And the opportunity to experiment is almost impossible, because you get that money from very rich people who want to see a big return on their investment. My investors never cared. They loved being in on a show. They put $1,000 in it, and they went for the ride. They never asked what it was about, who was in it, or anything else. And when it turned out to be a West Side Story or Cabaret, they were thrilled. But neither of those shows, that's why I chose them, would have been financed today on Broadway, because the fellows with the money, in a weird way, think they know what sells. And since that time, we've had 10 very bad years with the American musical, because the people with the money thought they knew what sells, and the right things didn't get on the stage. Now, New Musicals is an outgrowth of that. And what is it? It is a place where new composers, lyricists, librettists, new directors, new designers, as well as those of us who've been around, Kander and Ebb and Terrence McNally, we're all experienced, we've all been there, will be able to work in collaboration, and that's the most important part. In other words, I learned from Robbins, from Abbott, from people who'd been doing it a long time. I came along with enthusiasm and some ideas, and but not much craft, and not any experience. And now I have the experience and the craft, and a lot of knowledge to impart. So if you go to scene 4, but the young artists have the taste of these times and the vision, a contemporary vision to teach me. Got it? Try this one. If I had a crush on someone who looked like that, I wouldn't want anyone to know it either. I was too dumb to figure it out.
Wasn't that?
But I think I was distracted by the nastiness of the line, and I think John was too. I trust actors. I trust them as much as they should be trusted. In other words, if I'm dealing with a terrific actor, it's really a collaboration, and I'm the editor. I'll stimulate, and then I'll watch. And of course, I'll do a little traffic control. So, here we go. This is what you'll see as you come into the curtain, into the theater rather, and this is the show curtain, and it is opaque. New Musicals opens with Spider-Woman, and very first thing you see is one of those beautiful show curtains, garish as hell, and redolent of South America. And then you go from that in a very up overture, and then you go right into a prison scene with 2 men. And you flip-flop back and forth. In the imagination, the play certainly does say there's nothing wrong with taking refuge anywhere you can when you're isolated and lonely, you know? And that's what our hero does.
I see it so clearly, I know it so well.
Spider-Woman has all sorts of very enticing elements, movies and musicals and girls and, you know, chorus girls and so on, but it also takes place in a prison. And it is about politics as well. And all that stuff is incendiary and dangerous. If I try to do this on Broadway, I can tell you there's an interrogation scene, that there'd be people saying, no, no, you can't do that.
There should be a couple of moments in this show that are very, very strong and painful to watch. I also think there's a great catharsis in the show. I think it's finally a very optimistic story we're telling. Even though there is death and great sadness in it, I feel purged at the end of it, and I hope an audience will. It's certainly a positive statement about the human condition.
No. I like collaboration. I am not I'm not given to being alone. I don't like to be in a room alone. I like company. And the theater, you get the most company. You're all collaborating together. I love that.
I'm attracted to writing musicals because I love musicals as audience, and I think they're good discipline in structure, but you're really just one part of the team when you've written the book for a musical, and when it's a play, you're pretty much God, and I ain't God in this production.
Fred and I were working together, and Fred said, I have a very good idea for a musical. And he said, Kiss of the Spider Woman. And the minute he said it, I said yes. It was so obvious that it was a musical piece.
The strangeness of Kiss of the Spider Woman and its theme, and the fact, I think it's the bravest show that we've ever been involved with, and it created, therefore, a tremendous challenge to us.
We will come up with a phrase. Usually Fred will come up with a line, sometimes just a sentence, or sometimes 4 lines. And then we will start to improvise together. We've been doing this for, God, 26 years the same way. He improvises in rhyme and meter in the way that I can improvise at the piano. And little by little, we build it exactly at the same time.
John comes over to my house, and we sort of build the song together. Our working habits have never changed.
I never hand him the music for a song, and he never hands me a lyric. We always do it like that. And hopefully, when we're at our best, what comes out is a third person. It doesn't come out to be Fred, it doesn't come out to be me.
This time we go back to conventions which everybody keeps longing for. The musical comedy number. With with taps and hand clapping and all that stuff, and garish costumes. So this is a terrific experience for me, because this merges things that I'd never gone near. I thought, why don't you try this kind of a show instead of eschewing it all the time? So, but this is a show that melds both, and that's terrific. I'm not thinking about Kiss. That's how I'm doing what I want to do, by not thinking beyond the experience here. And it has been the freest, untrammeled experience I've had since the experiences in London, which were more recent. And then in the old days, for years and years, it was this way. Now it's this way again. And it's because I'm not worrying about Broadway. Let Broadway worry about me. If they see the show and they want to go to, lovely. Everybody wants to make money. The authors would love to make money. The actors would love to settle down someplace. Fine. But that is not a guiding precept in the doing of this show. And there are no plans, as we sit here now, there are no plans beyond here.
We'll have more for you after this.